lovely friends, welcome back to Tarot AF. So today I have another pick a card reading for you all on what are their next moves towards you. So firstly, what we're going to look at is who this person is, what the energy has been towards you, potentially their thoughts and feelings currently. We're just going to get the current energy state so you can feel like you know who that person is and it feels right for you. So the energy towards you at this moment in time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to delve in with tarot and some oracle cards as well to support on their next moves towards you based off of this current energy, which we would have explored at the beginning. So if you've never been to a pick a card reading before, hello and welcome. Today we have 4 piles ready and waiting for all of you. We have pile 1 with the Synesthesia Tarot deck and the Fluorite Moon. We have pile 2 with the Light Seers Tarot deck and the Rose Quartz Elephant. We have pile 3 with the Wild Unknown Tarot deck and the Moonstone. And then lastly, we have the Modern Witch Tarot and the Amethyst Heart. So like I said, take a moment, you can pause the video, see which one is drawing you in, and what I do is I post the times in the information box below. I will see you there for your reading. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 1. So if you picked the Synesthesia Tarot deck and the Fluorite Moon Crystal, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to do the energy check-in for this pile. So we're going to look at who this person is, what energy they've been giving to you so that you can feel like, yeah, this is my reading. And then when we move into their next moves towards you, you feel like that will hopefully resonate with you. So they are firstly being represented by the snake. We have also got the 5th chakra Archangel Gabriel. We have got Magician and the Mirror. We've got Abundance. And we've also got Sweetness. So firstly with Snake, we may have an earth sign or heavy earth placings, maybe rising or moon signs. So this is Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo. They don't necessarily have to, but if that they do, then that might be a great kind of confirmation for you, but don't worry if not. It's mainly about the energy, and that's what we're looking at, is the energy of this person towards you. And it feels like with this snake, this is this unawakened almost magic, the untapped emotional potential. And this is not saying and that, you know, you've not experienced these feelings before that maybe this person is giving you, but I feel like this is a really fresh new energy which almost knocks your socks off in some kind of way, because I think there is a lot of truth and comfort within this energy at the moment in time. It feels like there's so much prosperity ahead. And with this Magician in the Mirror, if maybe you've been manifesting the qualities of a partner, or been asking for spirit to present these to you in your external, that's all because you've kind of cultivated that self-worth and all of those things within, and it's almost being reflected back at you in this Magician and the Mirror, because you found your center. It's awakening all of these things around you too in your external. And I feel like this person is almost an exact reflection of everything almost you've been asking for, and all the things that you are deserving and worthy of in this kind of unawakened magic. It feels like now everything's kind of stirring up and getting to that point. And with the 5th chakra as well, I feel like there's this ability to speak truth to one another, that there's this healing from what's being said and what's being talked about, but also that you both can unapologetically just be yourselves in terms of what you say, even if it's silly things or, you know, really serious, whatever it is. It feels like no one has to hide their truth. You can both be vulnerable with one another, and it feels like they say exactly what you need to hear, and there's no kind of minced words, as it were. There's just this feeling of aligning with that abundance, that things are just building, things are growing at this brilliant pace, whether that's really quickly for some people, but it feels just really natural, and that you don't have to put your hand on the wheel, or whether it's just slowly all the pieces falling together. There just feels like this ultimate sweetness towards you, that you just get this really loving and good energy. And also with this sweetness card, obviously we've got this kind of heart lollipop is how I see it. And it feels like for me, there's almost this like childlike glee and joy of almost like I said about the kind of unawakened and like maybe the emotional awakening potentially. But it feels like these are the feelings of like the first love, as it were. And this does not necessarily have to be your first love at all. But it feels like there's just the sweetness that comes with that of being young and in love, and just kind of getting to know someone with those curious eyes and building that picture of what they're showing you. But it really does feel like the qualities of this person is someone creative, is charismatic, who stirs up all of those things in that snake card, but almost a reflection exactly of what you've been manifesting. And it feels like there's this just comfort to see almost where it's going and how it's going to unfold. And it may even just be in this first talking stage for some people, or the first couple of weeks or months. It may still be quite fresh, which is why maybe there's this kind of untapped or awakening things happening. Maybe it's not been maybe it's not been a commitment yet, or something within the physical world, but it definitely feels like on an emotional and spiritual level, there just feels like this instant kind of soul to soul connection, in a way that there's just that thing there. But for some people, maybe there is that commitment and there is that kind of joining and of paths and that kind of thing. But at the whole, it still feels like quite a fresh energy. So I want to now delve into your tarot cards for what their next moves are towards you with the Synesthesia Tarot deck. So if that didn't feel like your energy, if you were drawn to another pile, maybe give the top bit a go, but sometimes there may not be a pile for you, so do bear that in mind. Don't feel discouraged in that way. But if you do feel like this is your energy, then thank you for keeping to watch. Thank you for continue to be watching. What, I can't speak. I feel like this is the kind of, you guys are obviously speaking your truth, but I'm mixing my words. So I'm not taking on that energy. So let's see. Give it a good old shuffle. Let's see what their next moves are towards pile one. So what are this person's moves towards pile one? So we have got the Knight of Wands, we have got the Seven of Wands, we have got the Page of Pentacles, we have got the Four of Wands, we have got the Devil, and we have also got the Eight of Cups here, and on the back we have got Strength as well. Great. And then what I'll do is I'll get your oracle cards. So in terms of oracle, we have got Change, we have got Dry Desert, we have got Expect Powerful Change, New Moon Eclipse. We have got Chakras, Alignment, Energy, Awareness, Listen to your body and unlock free-flowing positivity and spiritual power within you. And we've also got The Past is now behind you, release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you, follow it in faith. So I feel like in terms of signs as well, so this could be you or them again. So we've still got that earth energy, of which we have the snake, the Virgo, Taurus and Capricorn. We've also got a lot of fire sign, and also strength would be Leo. So fire signs, we've got Leo, Sagittarius or Aries. You may have those placements, or that person may have those placements. It's a confirmation if you guys do, but if you don't, do not fear. It's like I said, it's all about the energy as of the beginning at the top of the reading. So I feel like with this person, and maybe they're starting to tell you these truths too, which is why it feels like things are opening up. And like I said, maybe there hadn't been a kind of tangible relationship yet, maybe it was still in that talking stages, but there feels like that intuitive knowing about one another. But I feel like with this Devil card and the Ace of Cups, there is definitely things in their past, people in their past, maybe situations or relationships of their past, which they are still kind of, they're walking away from now. Like emotionally they weren't as fulfilled, and maybe they felt quite emotionally stagnant in those. Maybe they will tell you about those relationships, or maybe they won't. Maybe that's their plan, is to open up further. But it feels like they are now where they're going, and they're realizing that they don't need to get caught up in the illusion of what almost everybody else wants or needs. And actually it doesn't matter to the outside world what this relationship or what any relationship looks like to other people around. Maybe in their past relationships they didn't feel like they were making decisions that almost made their heart glad, and that's nothing on their partner or anything like that, or their past relationship. It just feels like they weren't almost being authentically true to themselves, and maybe they felt like they were kind of dancing to the tune, whether that was like, you know, being in a relationship in the first place, or those kinds of things. Maybe they just felt rushed in to be doing things, or for the social side of it, the social conventions of what you should be doing. It feels like maybe that's what they felt shackled to in a way. But there is this release, this emotional walk away from this Ace of Cups. So maybe their energy is that of slowly kind of, like I said before, that kind of slowly speaking truth and building that picture and approaching things in this almost like childlike way of not being kind of shackled to the social conventions, and taking it as a fresh new relationship, like it's the first time. And that's how you should see everybody, is with those new eyes. You shouldn't put your preconceived notions of what happened to in your past onto the person that you're kind of getting to know or talking to. So this is what this person feels like that they're doing, and I think they are able to completely release that past and really listen to their intuition and where that's calling them to move away from that emotional stagnancy, and really follow this new path which feels open to them now, because it feels like they are really in their own alignment and ready for the powerful change that is coming towards them. And it feels like they want to embrace this. They're in this space where they're ready. With this dry desert card, the one thing I was hearing was oasis. And when you feel like you've been in that kind of dry desert, or any situation where maybe things haven't been happening, haven't been moving, that kind of being open and receptive to seeing that oasis, to seeing that new possibility and that change, it does stir up and moves mountains within you. And I feel like that's the position where they're in towards you, that they can kind of say what their past has been, and that actually they're following things in this new openness without having to worry what everybody else is thinking. And actually they've made these changes within them, and they're really able to cultivate their own strength instead of having to, you know, roar the loudest about what it is they want or tell everybody. I feel like they're not that person from where they've moved on, because there's almost this, like I said, intuitive knowing between you both, and this kind of awakening in the fact that this feels like a fresh new change, an injection of positivity, prosperity and abundance. And it really feels like with this Page of Pentacles that there is this playfulness, that it's almost like learning love again. It's like it's a new different energy of not everybody is the same person. Every relationship is going to be different, and there's this fun in finding the flow, of what that means to both of you. So I feel like this person, their next move towards you is really that kind of finding the groove and finding the change, and really kind of still putting their energy onto you and being less kind of defensive maybe about their past or about what people think and the noise around relationships. It feels like they're really taking a step back from that, and they realize that actually they're at the vantage point and they have the ability whether to engage with that kind of thing, like the humdrum around, or to take a step back from it and just not get involved at all, to release that and kind of walk away and just listen to what their intuition is telling them. And I think that's them finding and listening to themselves and finding that alignment, being aware of the energy that is coming towards them. So it feels like with this Knight of Wands, there is this great passion, this great directed intuition, this great almost longing and fervent energy to connect and find the kind of victory and the solace and the kind of healing. There's celebration here with the Four of Wands. Potentially there's even a celebration for you both that maybe you will be attending. Four of Wands can be significant of weddings, graduations, just any kind of festivity. Maybe there's even a birthday that's coming up. And I say that because 31st and then Leo energy, that's 31st July is my birthday. So I feel like that I was just called to say that because I saw the 3-1 and then the strength, and I was talking about celebrations. But maybe it's obviously not you guys celebrating my birthday, but I feel like maybe there could be a big celebration. Maybe you guys are going away with this Knight of Wands. It feels like there's these brilliant changes coming about from just this kind of sweetness to almost this deeper unlocking of who you both are, this kind of unshackling from the past and realizing that you actually both have freed yourselves from it, and actually you have both changed already. And maybe this is going to bring about this wonderful change within your relationship, that actually it's both of you standing on kind of listen to your own fires and not getting involved in what everyone else thinks. It's you guys building your own version of what you want your relationship to be, and there's great strength in that. It feels like I'm hearing literally from going from strength to strength, and finding those moments to be together. With this dry desert as well, I feel like something I heard is if you feel like this may not be for everyone, but if you feel like they're holding back in some way, because I've spoken a lot about that truthfulness and that opening up, but I feel like there's going to be those moments where you get a real insight into what they're feeling and thinking. Maybe sometimes they feel a bit closed off, and maybe those mechanisms are up because of past things, because maybe they're still finding their alignment after those feelings of feeling trapped maybe, or there's potentially lack of self-worth, which they're all working on. They're working on their vulnerability and realizing that is a strength, is being vulnerable with people and saying their truth and saying when things hurt them, telling people their feelings, how they actually feel. That is strong. That is an act of strength and defiance. And it feels like it's one of those things which they almost have to train themselves to do and say. It's like that magician in the mirror. If you're manifesting anything, you've got to continue to kind of make action towards it, to call on the behavior when you see it, call it out, and make those active changes away, as well as having that willpower and courage and determination. But there feels like a lot of faith here within this relationship, and like I said, a great amount of celebration. It feels like you are very like-minded in the terms of your intuition and your passions and your desires. That may not be that, you know, you have the same hobbies or the same desires to go down the same path. It's just what sets you alight. When you feel like you're talking passionately about something, you can see that in the other person, and that is something that awakens even more feelings up. It feels like there's almost this kind of like soul tribe connection here, just this intuitive knowing. You can kind of see who that person is quite plainly without their defenses up, and they almost let you stand on their side as well, kind of battling those things with them, is what I'm hearing. And with the Knight of Wands, maybe their plan is to take you away. Like I said, maybe there's a celebration, maybe because Knight of Wands can mean flight or emigration or that kind of thing. So maybe there's a trip planned for both of you potentially. But if not, like I said, there's just this kind of wanting to act now and think later. There's this kind of impulsivity here of let's do things that make us glad. Let's build things our own way and let's just be playful. This is really like the building blocks, the foundation of your relationship in a lot of ways. And this can even be if it's, you know, if you're years down the line or whatever. But I feel like I said, this feels very fresh. But at any point you can kind of reinvent, change the cycle of who you were. And this definitely feels like that in a lot of ways, that you guys are rebuilding upon upon the ideas of what you had of what a relationship was or could be. This relationship feels like it's opening up a lot of doors and possibilities of what you guys could do and could be, and it feels like there is just this free-flowing positivity, and maybe even feels guided by spirit in a lot of ways. Maybe you even ask for signs, and maybe you're seeing a lot of signs about this person or that kind of thing. Maybe that's your spirit guides' ways, or just the universe's way of saying you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing. Don't worry and get bogged down in the kind of feelings that we all feel in that Devil card of, you know, chasing things that other people have, or you know, sometimes our fears and anxieties, they scream at us and we worry, especially when this energy is coming to you after you've cultivated this self-worth and everything. It can still feel like you get trapped in those old patterns or those old cycles, and Spirit is really saying here, continue to find your center and do things that make your heart glad and lean into the energy, because the fears and anxieties, they can all lie, they can all pile up on top of you, but there's no thoughts, there's no kind of in this pile, there's no sword energy here. It's all based on this fiery intuition and this emotional calling towards something else, and the kind of, like I said, that foundation, the start of this kind of physical sensation in that world. So maybe you're even only just talking over text or email or WhatsApp, whatever, you know, video call, but maybe there's something more, that there's something tangible in the real world coming about, that you'll, you know, I mean, you guys are in the real world, but you know what I mean, face to face, that face to face contact, potentially there's something that's going to start building up upon what's already been created. And yeah, the abundance card is still just calling to me, as in you guys can really make and choose what this relationship is and build it up from there, from that raw energy you feel. But expect this powerful change within this relationship, but also this powerful change within yourself, them and you. That maybe if you've known this person before and this is almost a change of relationship from friend to more, or acquaintance to more, work colleague to more, whatever it is, expect to see shifts within yourself as you open yourself up to this connection and you find that alignment, that kind of free flowing, I don't have to think so much, I can feel my way through. You can feel like, see feelingly is one of my favorite expressions, is to make your moves forward based on how you're feeling. And obviously there's that rationality that comes in as well, but your instincts are based off of that as well. It's your higher knowing, it's your spirituality and that finding that center. So trust that even if it feels even if it feels like things are bogging you down, or you feel like you can't find answers in that dry desert for both of you, you can find it within your center. If you feel like there's a lot of humdrum, or if you guys aren't together, like I said, if it's a long distance relationship, or you guys are separate for a couple of weeks or that kind of thing, you always find your center with how you're actually feeling, as opposed to how everyone thinks you should be feeling about the situation. You know within yourself, and you know where your oasis is and where those feelings of comfort are. So I also want to get you guys some songs for the next couple of months for this relationship. So let's have a look. Spirit for pile 1. Let's have a look-see. Okay, I'll give you guys one more as well. So we have Heartbreak Hotel, Elvis Presley. And I feel like we're going to get the rest of the songs too, but I feel like this is almost like I'm hearing Lonely Hearts Club as well. I don't know why that just came to my mind, but maybe there's even this feeling of you guys almost being like lonely hearts for a while with that dry desert, and maybe it's almost that you guys almost bonded over your breakups or your last relationships in a way. But yeah, that's a funny one. I want to get some more context. Super Duper Love, we've got Joss Stone. And obviously, Joss Stone, oh, I don't want to spoil. Okay, most people would have. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, most people would have watched it already. If you haven't, sorry. So Joss Stone was on, you know, the UK Masked Singer. And I feel like this is unveiling the mask, unshackling the mask, the social mask that we wear, the preconceptions that we give. Or I did a reading on YouTube of your 3 faces, and it's the first face is it's a Japanese proverb. The first face is the face that you present to the world, how people first see you. Your second face is the one that you show to your friends and your family and your closest people, and the third face is the face that you never show anyone. That's your authentic face that only you will know. And I feel like with that message, there was a reason that I brought up the Masked Singer, is it's almost that kind of the things that people expect of you, and maybe even the heartbreak that you felt like defined you, or people think define you in a way, and maybe kind of tell you should be fearful of this or that, or, you know, what happened last time. Those words, those fears and anxieties people put onto you almost create that mask. But I feel like you can let that go now, that kind of that feeling, and show your like show another layer to this person. And I feel like that's what's going to be happening, is actually that we've kind of already spoken about the heartbreak of the past and things like that, but that isn't to say, oh look, woe is me, where I was. It's actually for you to realize how far behind you, for both of you, that it is, and actually how much you want to move away from that and embrace these new possibilities, and into almost this super duper love, this super duper like alignment and everything, and this new awareness. It's all about that awareness, the awareness of how far you've come and how much you've changed individually. We've got Be My Baby, the Ronettes. I love that song. We've also got Saving All My Love For You, Whitney Houston. And we've also got I'll Stand By You, Pretenders, and Bob Clearmountain. So, oh, this is so lovely. So yeah, I feel like I said, it feels like a team coming together. And that kind of fresh love, that kind of having saved it, and even in those dry moments where it didn't feel like maybe you were going to find it, or that kind of thing, after that time of walking away, stepping into that unknown energy, it feels like this new path has like awoken all of those feelings, and it's like this kind of new depth to love in a way. And that's not trying to be patronizing about what came before, because I absolutely believe if you have been in relationships that you are open and honest, but it feels like a completely different energy, this pile, in terms of that kind of childlike curiosity. But just when I think of like, I'll stand by you and be my baby, I think of those kind of like My Girl, like those kind of movies of being young and finding that first love sort of thing. And this just, it does feel like a change in dynamic to the frequency of love that maybe you were in before, maybe because you feel like you're more connected to spirit, more connected to the universe, so you're seeing more signs about it, or you're trusting your intuition more based off of your past. And I feel like their next moves towards you are to feel this strength within yourself, and also to be vulnerable with you, so that therefore you can be too. And maybe you both are that magician in the mirror, kind of reflecting back exactly what you were looking for. Okay, I just heard High School Musical, what I've been looking for. Put aside the fact that Ryan and Sharpay, brother and sister, sang that song, but there we go. It's hard to believe that I couldn't see what was always right in front of me, or what was always beside me, sorry. Okay, anyway, that's a great song, number one, but also, so maybe High School Musical is relevant to you guys. Maybe you guys met at school and you haven't seen each other for a while or something like that. But if not, maybe it's just that energy of like exactly what you've been waiting for, that thing that you were hoping that would arrive. Or maybe you were like least expecting it, but it's exactly what you wanted and needed at the right time that it found you. So my glorious friends of pile one, I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today. I really hope it resonated with you. And like I said as well, and like I will always say in my readings, this is all based off of the current energy. So you have absolute free will, and you can make changes in the present moment that will affect this energy and your future outcomes. Nothing is set in stone, just to remind you of that. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you all very, very soon. Thank you for letting me read your cards, and until next time, I'm sending so much love. Bye. Hello my lovely friends of pile 2. So if you picked the Light Seers Tarot deck and the Rose Quartz Elephant, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, I'm going to pop your tarot cards to the side, and we're going to get into your oracle cards for this person's energy towards you. So we're going to do this energy check-in so you feel confident that this is your pile and it feels like the energy that you are currently receiving. So then when we delve in further for their next moves, you feel sure in that. So firstly, we have got shark energy. This is energy represented by water, so Scorpio, Cancer or Pisces placements of this person could be relevant. Don't worry if they don't have those placements, moon, rising or sun, or maybe even potentially Venus as well. It's a confirmation if it's there, but it's not essential. It's all about the energy, like I said, of this deck. And we've got financial constraints, we have got contract in reverse, we have got ghost, and we've also got hunger. So I feel like the energy that I'm currently picking up from, and when we look at financial constraints in relationships, I always feel like, because that's kind of pentacle energy, in terms of translating to tarot-ish, I kind of feel like it's an absence of, that the door isn't really open. It's like they're not really giving you much to go off at the moment. It's like there's the energy flowing to you is not the same as you are giving to it potentially. So maybe you're not getting that honesty back, or maybe you feel like you're just not getting to the bottom of things. And the shark is an animal that lurks in the depths, and it feels like you're not getting to the depth, that honesty and that truth. It feels very mysterious at the moment. And with this ghost, maybe they even feel like a ghost of their former selves, of how they approached you at the beginning. And maybe there's a hunger to get back to that point, but it just feels like it's shrouded in mystery, this whole relationship, or the energy of this relationship or connection at the moment. And with this contract in reverse, it feels like there's just like there's nothing, it feels like they're not coming forward with anything, which is obviously maybe why you've come to this video, to see what their next moves actually may be, because maybe they're not giving you much to go on at all. It feels like there's no kind of written law as to how they're going to approach you. It feels like maybe this is energy that you've never been confronted with before from them or in the past. It just, yeah, I'm just hearing unwritten, that these are unwritten rules that you just almost don't know which energy state you're going to get from this person, whether you're going to get this almost ghost version, or maybe the ghost is even, maybe they are quite annoying over text and don't message back, or kind of ghost your messages, ghost your calls, but then they can have that energy, and it's almost that hunger and that longing to know what they're thinking, because you've seen the opposite. This really does feel like there's a reason that you have feelings towards this person. There's obviously something that's been stirring up, but it just feels like you're not getting a lot back at this moment in time, where maybe you did at one point. Maybe it feels like they didn't ration themselves, or whatever it is. It feels like maybe they gave you all and now it's almost nothing in comparison, and it just feels like it's out of balance. There's this imbalance in this relationship somewhere, and it feels like it's almost this mystery that then causes you almost to not be as honest as you'd hope you could be. There's not this directness here. You're not revealing your truest natures or your desires. It feels like you're not really allowed the breathing room to do that. It's this thing that's literally encircling us like this shark. It's like in Jaws, how, it's this, or any kind of like shark monster movie or whatever. There's this huge build up. There's this huge lurking tension. Everyone's talking about this thing that lurks in the shadows that's there, and then we finally see like the villain of the piece a bit later on. It's introduced to us. It feels like this kind of this thing that's lurking, that is causing to be revealed to one another. And that's the kind of energy that I'm picking up at the moment, that it feels like there's shadows, there's some moments where it feels like you see one another, and then it feels like it switches hot and cold between the both. But there's just this general mystery as to what is actually going to happen with this energy, because at the moment it just literally feels like you're being in those plunging pools from hot to cold. Like one moment it's like everything's moving, and then the next it feels like it's complete cut off switch. Like it's almost like if you were colleagues or something like that, or anything, and maybe you even saw them in the supermarket, or shopping with friends, and like they completely blank you as if they've never known you before, as if you were a ghost. So there's that kind of energy, and one, it's not energy that you're deserving of. You deserve to be thrown into that spotlight and to have that attention, but like I said, there's obviously a reason that there's kind of been this build up, and obviously this build up of feelings on your side too. And it's so interesting that you picked I just saw it, the rose quartz elephant as well, because the elephant, in terms of our animal spirit oracle deck, this is fire energy. So potentially there's fire sign placements here, Leo, Sagittarius or Aries. And I haven't read the elephant card in a little while, but I believe it's the breaking down of barriers and obstacles. And sometimes it's annoying, but sometimes spirit or the universe will put obstacles or diversions in our path, as well as break them down for us, but sometimes we'll place them there to point us in the right direction, to point us on our highest path. So potentially this obstacle and this break potentially in this energy has been put here for a reason, for spirit to basically cut you away from energy which was maybe not serving you, but also maybe as a kind of there's this saying that sometimes things and it's painful, get cut out from our lives because of conversations that we may not have heard or energy that we weren't privy to. So maybe there's something, and maybe your intuition is even calling you to that there's a reason that things aren't moving or getting started or that kind of thing. And it's almost like if you guys want to move forward here, you guys have got to break down those barriers and really, and on the back of this, the deck, which I'm going to show you in a minute, of the Atlas Oracle deck, there was this fire card where life is forged where there has been destruction. And I just had it up over there, didn't even mean to glance over. And it feels like paired with that fire energy of that elephant card, that elephant spirit card, that now is the time to really like purge yourselves of this current stagnancy maybe, or this kind of current mystery in order to free, because that kind of destruction leaves room for construction of building something more. And maybe it's just the contracts or the kind of future of writing down what you guys want it to be, or that kind of thing, is because the foundation may not be all there. Maybe there's this kind of need, that this honesty that needs to be brought from whichever party. So this feels like the current energy check-in. If that doesn't feel like it's for you, please do go back to the top of the video if you felt drawn to another pile. If you didn't, maybe there's not messages for you today, but like I said, if you were drawn to another one and that energy didn't feel like it fit, then feel free to do that. But if it did, then we're going to delve further into what their next moves towards you may be. So let's have a look-see. Okay, so Spirit, okay. So for pile 2, interesting. Okay, so we have got Death, Rebirth. We have got the 10 of Pentacles. We have got the Queen of Cups. We have got the Knight of Pentacles. We have got the Ace of Cups. Interesting. We have got Temperance, and then on the back we have got the Fool. Okay, I like this new energy coming in. I like this energy. Feels very, very different, but I can track it. I can see it. So in terms of oracle cards, we have got Choice. We have got Rock Bottom. We have got Meditate and Contemplate, New Moon in Pisces. And then on top of that, you guys got 2 that fell out. And this one fell out on top of this. It's time to take action, New Moon in Aries. So I want to talk about both of those. And we've got Blockages, Obstruction, Barricade. And we've also got Surrender. At times, we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and it will all work out. So with you guys, what's coming next? And this is with spirits. If you're taking, if you want it, A, if you want it, and B, if you're both willing to do this work, for which I feel like their energy, and I said I like this energy. It feels like, and I want to say this first, because there's so much I want to delve into and talk about here. Honesty and fierce honesty from you will bring that out in them also, to be true to themselves, to really get, like, uncover the mystery that's currently here. That honesty is going to help, because it feels like there is a choice. There is a choice here, because it feels like at the moment you're almost hitting rock bottom with this, and it feels like there are almost 2 paths that you can go on in this journey together. You can either meditate and contemplate over it, stay in this kind of stagnant energy where it's like the ifs, the but, the what ifs, what happens if this happened but nothing is really happening, going from that ghosting to the other, or it's time to take action. And I only just saw this now as well. So we've got the Pisces energy, the water energy of the shark before, and that's paired with the Queen of Cups here. But we've also got this new moon in Aries, it's time to take action, which is obviously the elephant crystal that you guys picked. Like I said in that deck, that's the fire energy, the Leo, Sagittarius or Aries. But also Pisces is the last of our zodiac and Aries is the first. And I link Fool to Aries energy in some ways because it's the first of our zodiac, because it's the beginning, it's the fresh time of accounting and start to move past those obstacles and take that action. And obviously we had the fire underneath the deck, obviously here. I feel like it's almost a reading of two halves for you guys, that this is moving away from that energy of just contemplation and feeling like the barriers and the obstructions are coming, and actually seeing them as diversions in order for you to surrender to the energy and to make a choice to move on to a new path. And it feels like it's with this person in tow as well. It's like you have to surrender the old, what was going on in this relationship, because maybe both of you are a little bit accountable for it. I'm not saying their energy of being hot and cold and all of those things, but maybe you haven't been completely honest with them as well. But it's kind of surrendering the old of where you've got to, and to let go and trusting that something new, this new energy can be forged, where you completely let go of almost those boundaries that maybe has been placed upon this relationship, or that you feel like those obstructions have been put up for some reason. Whatever those blockages are, it's almost time to identify that and kind of recognize that this energy that you feel, this almost passion and this energy is calling for a rebirth. It feels like maybe you guys even are in a no contact or separation at the moment for some people. Maybe you guys are making the decision to take some time apart to work things out. Maybe that's where that hot and cold energy is. Or maybe you guys had a relationship in the past, a connection in the past, and kind of exploring potentially something new. Maybe it's the start of it, or maybe you're just asking out of the blue what their actions may be towards you. And I feel like Spirit is saying, if you want to unblock this connection, it's really got to go through, it's your choice and both people's choices too, but Spirit is saying it's mainly your free will, and maybe it's your decision whether this goes ahead or not. It feels like there is a massive rebirth coming to this connection if the past facet of it is allowed to fall to death, essentially, and that's really surrendering the past, knowing that you can't change it, accept it for what it was, who the both of you were, the actions that you did, and really setting them aside without resentment or judgment, accepting them and learning and growing and moving forward, accepting the lessons of the past and moving forward towards something new, and really plugging that into your GPS of what it is that you want and following your heart. Spirit is saying that I feel like there's this great nurturing and spiritual connection despite what happened, and which is why it feels like there's all that energy from the beginning, that kind of hunger. And I said there was obviously a reason. There is a reason that those feelings are stirring up and you're asking about this person and what may be coming up, because maybe there's even this intuitive knowing, this with this Queen of Cups, this almost daydream energy of there's a reason my thoughts keep kind of going back, and whether that's to learn from the past, but I feel like there's been this meditation and contemplation about the lessons and all of those things, but actually now it's asking, Spirit is asking you guys to take action if you want to go ahead with it or open yourself up to something new. Either way, it's time for new energy, it's time for new injection of energy, and actually you can move forward and you are deserving in love. But it feels like this person's, what their intentions are is almost to offer you this Ace of Cups. And maybe they always have, with this open heart and this full heart, an emotional opportunity or experience to drink deeply and to really maybe be honest and open and provide this connection, with this kind of revival, especially after storms. With this Temperance card in the Rider-Waite deck, it's representative of Iris, who is goddess of rainbows, and that's obviously after the storm comes this peace and tranquility of this rainbow. But it's also this energy of finding balance, of reconciling opposites, of alchemizing what was into what is, turning that transmuting energy into that light frequency. And it feels like that's what this person almost wants to do. They've almost found and cultivated this center, this balance. And it's not all going to change overnight. They have to kind of renew this energy and show you who they are right now at this moment in time, as opposed to who they were. And I feel like this is the thing, and this is the choice that has to be made, is the choice to see this person in this new state, kind of putting aside the past, surrendering the past, and looking forward. And almost with this Fool card, there's this new beginning, there's this new phase, this new journey here, which Spirit is asking both of you to take this leap of faith towards, to kind of trust and have faith. And even if you can't see that net to catch you, that by taking this plunging forward, by following your heart, following your instincts in this matter, and trusting that Spirit has got your back, that is going to bring for you that kind of I'm hearing kind of like soaring, this flight, this soaring notion, which I've never heard before with the Fool, which I kind of love. Like this relationship has got wings, is what I'm hearing. And maybe you feel like you've always known it, but maybe you've been sitting on those feelings. Maybe you felt like it was all from them as opposed to you, but actually it feels like there's this time to take action now. Or maybe if they're coming forward with stuff or offerings, or kind of trying to extend that laurel branch, maybe whatever it is that you see with this person, because with this 10 of Pentacles card, it feels like whatever family means to you, or this wealth and abundance, this kind of feeling of legacy, this connection, this drawing life together, it feels like there is this like this almost inner knowing with this Queen of Cups, this daydreaming of the life that you'll both share. And I feel like this person almost is in this kind of state of regret and kind of coming to terms with the fact that I think they blame themselves a lot for almost the demise of this connection, or for putting up those blocks or those obstructions and almost making you hit rock bottom, is what I'm hearing. But I think they want to come forth with this new energy, with this Ace of Cups energy, and really plug into the GPS and be like, I'm not exactly where I want to be in my life, but I know where it is that I want to go. And we may be walking different paths, we're obviously doing different things with our lives, but it's like I want to walk our separate walks of life, like the paths that we're going to tread separately together. And that's because you each find your own wholeness, you each find your own happiness, but you guys can be the cherry on top of each other's cake for this. And I think what Spirit is saying is that when this energy comes to you, you've got to listen to your inner knowing and your intuition, and energy doesn't lie. Words and thoughts, they can all lie. And here there's not thoughts energy, there's not necessarily a plan. It's not like they're going, oh, okay, I've got a plan, we're going to do this, we're going to do this step by step. It's not. I think it's just this overwhelming, almost bubbling up of feeling energy, and it's almost their decision to take this action. If they've been in this meditation and contemplation, taking that time for themselves, as I feel like you have as well, this has come from that emotional pull to follow their hearts, that they've got to speak their truth, that they've got to try and like they've taken that time to look in towards their center and draw all the energy that they needed. And now they understand that their energy is a currency, and they need to direct it into things that they love, as opposed to chasing things that don't make them happy. And they're making the choice almost to come forward, to almost surrender their feelings to you, to kind of be like, this is what it is that I want. Almost laying it out on the table, like the cards are on the table laid, and to really plunge into this new beginning, and almost, I'm hearing wipe the slate clean. And that's almost what Spirit is asking you to do in some ways. If this is what you would like, you do not have to accept this energy coming at you. Like I said at the beginning with the shark energy of that mystery and that lurking and that hunger and that ghosting and all of those things, that's energy that you're not deserving of. But if you want to experience, and if you know on an intuitive level that there is something there between you both, Spirit is asking if you'd like this Ace of Cups is your opportunity, your emotional experience to really drink deeply, to find this full heart, to take this solace and this healing, and to invite in this new energy. And the only way to do that is to surrender the old relationship, because you have both changed because of this, and also because of all the experiences since you've been together, if this is a no contact or separation situation. And the fact that you have both changed is almost like two new people coming to this relationship and almost learning each other all again. And this rebirth is to kind of break out of the cycle, the old pattern, and really heal and reconcile what was lost into this new energy with new faith. So it's a really kind of beautiful energy to come forward with, but it may feel quite disarming, is what I'm hearing, because it feels like, well, where did all of those blocks and those obstructions and all the things before, where have they all disappeared to? Why now? Why now do you feel this openness? But like I said, maybe that energy, that cut off energy, maybe that separation and those barriers that the Elephant card brings, maybe they were put there at that reason because for a reason from Spirit or the universe, for you guys to learn these lessons of whether it's, learning more about yourself or learning the self-worth, or for them to realize and learn the lessons. Because maybe and this may be your intuition calling to you as well, like maybe you do feel like this is the person for you, like there's this kind of following your heart pull towards this person, this instinctual person, and maybe these lessons needed to be learned now so that it could be healed. It needed that time for both of you almost to heal yourselves in order to then come back towards one another. But there feels like with this Knight of Pentacles, it feels like there's this like steadiness and this tenacity and this dedication now towards setting the sights on the goals of what they want, to almost the commitment that they want. And it's almost like they had to hit rock bottom. They had to hit that point in order to find the desperation within themselves to make the change, to make the choice that they knew that they needed to make, all of those choices. So I want to get some songs as well to kind of look at the next couple of months for this connection. So okay, so we have got Happy Together, the Turtles, which is a great song, but maybe it's just this energy of togetherness. Maybe it's when the separation or no contact happens, that's when thoughts can permeate, fears and anxieties can creep up. And like I said, there's no sword energy here. There's no bogging down of thoughts in a way, but the energy together is this almost happiness and this alignment and this prosperity. So maybe when you guys see one another again, this kind of, all the preconceived notions almost slip away, all the blocks and the obstructions and the barricades. It feels like that energy, that truth is able to flow, because maybe both of you have been meditating and contemplating like how the meeting would go, or the energy that you'd hope to be greeted with. And it's actually just seeing each other almost knocks all of that away, and you're able just to be there in this openness. Because like I said, openness and fierce honesty inspires that in the other. So maybe them being open and honest allows you to be as well, vice versa. We've got Kiss Me, Sixpence None the Richer. And that's, again, another really, really beautiful song. This like, but almost I feel like both are quite like, well, I feel like Kiss Me is quite daydreamy in a way of like, again, how it may go, how almost reconciliation may go in a way, but there's that sweetness there with that Kiss Me. I Want It That Way, Backstreet Boys. So yeah, wants and desires and almost needs, and that's almost from that hunger of closeness and things. Everything I Wanted, Billie Eilish. And that's obviously the past tense as well. So it's almost like you were everything I wanted. It's almost like bringing that energy, I want it that way, to like bring it back, is what I'm hearing. I'm going to get you guys one more song as well. And we've got Settle Down, Kimbra, which is a great song. And it's like, I want to settle down and have like a child. But obviously, like I said, family is different for everybody else. But that's that 10 of Pentacles, to like almost settle down the kind of restless energy within this relationship and make wants into kind of tangible things, is what I'm hearing. Like to really lay what it is you both want out on the table and to almost settle this, and like that contract that was there of like almost I'm hearing like a soul contract, or like the contract of what you guys both actually want, the commitments that you want, or the things, to really look at those and be like, is this like, how similar are we in a way of like what it is that we want? Because there is this like with this turtles, maybe it felt like there were things that you'd have to compromise on with this person, or things that they said that they didn't want, or said that they did and then decided they didn't. Maybe it feels like there's that almost fluctuation there. So Spirit's almost asking for that kind of sitting down, almost meeting of like what is it that we both want? What are our heart's desires? What is the future that we both want for ourselves? And can we almost make that work? What are the obstacles? Why did they mean so much at that time? Why were those barriers up? Can we surrender them? And can we make the choice, like I said, to be together, to walk those paths together, but separately, like the different things that you see for yourselves, and almost unite? Is that something that we can do? And that feels like the energy of what's coming towards you, what their next moves are, to come forward with that openness and to almost show their heart and almost offer this new emotional opportunity cup and a new phase. If you guys want to release that old phase and allow for this rebirth to come in and really break down those barriers and obstacles of the crystal that you even picked. And I just want to quickly actually, I didn't prepare this, I'm going to just read oh, it's going to be under fire. There we go. Elephant. Yay. The elephant to you. Unstoppable, auspicious, and wise. So the elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. It's said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. So if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, and we all have this mystery of the shark, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with light of self-knowledge. When in balance, one-pointed focus, generous and loving. When out of balance, misunderstands fate, and also to bring into balance, trust. And I feel like that is what Spirit is asking you to do. If you want to be with this person, if this feels like why it's called to you, is to have this trust, is to be generous and to be loving, to be open to this mystery. But it feels like this is adding to not only your wisdom, but their wisdom, and also helping you guys focus on what it is that you want. And if you want this relationship, it's asking for you both to make that choice to be with one another. But like I said, it is a choice. You have that free will. You don't have to pick this person. You don't have to respond to this energy if it doesn't fit with you. So my glorious friends of pile 2, I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. I've absolutely loved reading your cards. Please, if you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys there. Until next time, I'm sending so much love. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 3. So if you picked the Wild Unknown Tarot deck and the Moonstone crystal, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, let's have a look at your oracle cards for the energy that this person is currently giving you or has given you, so that you can check that this is your pile, you feel confident in that, so then when we go to their actions, their next moves towards you, you'll feel comfortable with them. Okay, so firstly we have Fox energy. Fox is earth energy, so potentially they have Virgo, Capricorn or Taurus placements. They don't necessarily have to have those in their charts, but if they do, that's an awesome confirmation for you guys. We have Goddess of the Moon, we have Man holding a heart, we have Disruption and Flow. So like I said, this is mainly the energy that this person gives off, and this Fox is fantastic Mr. Fox, but also a fox of two halves is what I'm hearing really strongly, which made me really chuckle. So with this Fox kind of energy type, this Fox is almost the ideal mate, the ideal partner, which is almost like that man holding a heart regardless of gender, that it's that openness, that person who's almost wearing their heart on their sleeve, who is looking directly at you. And that's almost what the Fox is doing, but it's almost like a side eye is what I've just noticed, in that it looks like it's almost directly looking at you, or there's like one eye on you following you. But there feels like this side to the Fox where there's this openness, there's this flow, everything clicks. It's like everything happens in the right timing. They are smart, they're intelligent, they're almost like the ideal partner or mate, the person that you have been hoping for. They just seem very wise, feel like they know it themselves. There's almost this magical quality to them, and I think they even teach you a lot about love when they're in this state of flow, like of the ease of it, and just maybe even delve, like just help you kind of rewrite any old stories. There's like no preconceived notions with them. It feels like they take you completely by surprise in a lot of ways. But there's another side to Mr. Fox when they fall out of balance. So I feel like when they're in this flow state, when they're paying attention, and this is the thing, there's a difference between getting attention and paying attention. And this person has those eyes where they pay attention to you, which is almost disarming. They're not trying to get attention and kind of seek your kind of approval or anything like that. They want to fully focus on you. And it's like when their eyes are locked, when that target is there in front of them, they are in that flow state where their attention is just on their partner. It's kind of like almost an acting exercise, like actors put their attention on the other person and everything else almost melts away. You get that when you're in the flow of writing or creating something or painting, whatever it is that you, or yoga, when you almost forget that the time goes around you, everything else melts away. And that's what their eyes almost kind of do, and when they are focused. But there's this feeling that despite all of those things, that flow state, something happens and it's almost like a click. As soon as the eyes are off, it's a disruption. They almost go internally, and maybe it even maybe you even question whether it's something that you said or you did, because suddenly it's like they're quite aloof, or they're just not being open, and it feels like they don't know themselves. It's almost like, has this person left the room? And with this Goddess of the Moon card, it's this, they just seem to go inside of themselves, almost into their shell, into this kind of retreat. But it's actually them tapping into their intuition and their inner knowing. So maybe it's nothing that you said or necessarily done. Maybe it's them taking, and the song 3 steps forward, 1 step back is coming to mind. Or is it 1 step forward, 3 steps back? That's it, other way around. And that's not you, that is their internal system that is almost disrupting their flow state. But it's, instead of it actually being their intuition in this case, I feel like they eventually get to their intuition. But what it is, I think, that causes that disruption quickly is their mental state, because it's so focused on the feeling and everything like that. And the one thing, and it'll be interesting to see when we do your tarot what comes up, but it feels like there's swords that lurk potentially, as in that thought energy, and then they have to bring themselves back to their intuition and their instinctual selves of that fox in balance, and then they find that flow again. So I don't know whether it's and it may even feel like they're pulling away. Is this like a tactic or something like that? I genuinely don't think it is. The energy of this pile, I feel like this person is the fox is a symbol of monogamy, especially with in terms of like having a life partner and that kind of thing. And I feel like this person's internal like their instincts, their intuition calms them down and kind of brings them back to their center. And I think this disruption is maybe, even if you guys get disrupted, if someone else comes into the conversation, or geographically there's distance, or maybe if you're on FaceTime you get cut off or whatever it is. But I don't think those are, and maybe it feels like there's a series of them, which is why it feels like an event and you're like, there is disruption here. But I think it's more the external as opposed to what their internal is telling them is what Spirit is saying. So let's go further and let's look at your tarot. So if you don't feel like that was the energy of the person, please do feel free to pick a different pile. But if you weren't drawn to another one, that's absolutely okay. Maybe there weren't any messages for you today from Spirit. Sometimes that happens, and it's happened to me, and there's a bit of reading that I've been really interested in, really wanting to know the question on fellow YouTubers. And in the end, I've like done it on myself because I was like, it wasn't there for me. And sometimes you just want to hear it from someone else, but I understand that frustration. So, Spirit, for pile 3, what are their next moves towards pile 3? So we have the Temperance card. We have the 5 of Wands. We have the 6 of Cups in reverse. We have the 8 of Swords. There we go. We have the 5 of Swords. I knew there would be some swords that came up. Okay, and we'll get one more for you guys today. And we've got the High Priestess. Yep, that's the Goddess of the Moon card again. And we've also got Judgment. Okay. I like the energy. I like their energy, and I like obviously I love you guys. I love your energy too. But I like the energy of this pile, and I can track why their actions and their moves may be in this way. So we've got Make. We have got Dragon's Lair. We have also got Don't Let Pride Get in Your Way, Full Moon in Leo. We have also got Isolated Contemplation and Reflect. And it's so interesting that we've got this as well, this kind of yin and yang symbol, action versus the yin of non-action, which is basically, I feel like, what they're giving to you. And we've got balance. So yeah, bringing into balance. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. So what I feel like, and this is what Spirit is saying, is I feel like the unknown, the kind of their fortress of this dragon's lair, their protective mechanisms, I think fall up when it's almost when they want to let their guard down even further. And this is why I feel like it's frustrating on your side, because there's so much flow, especially when there's that attention there. And for some reason, these barricades come up, and it's like the cocoon, it's the safety. They know that they know that they want to travel this. They know that they want to get through this. And they know that they want to traverse even like the trickiest of places with this dragon's lair, all those things that are lurking there, and they want to confront those things. It's about bringing themselves into balance. And I feel like the next thing for them that's going to be happening in their next moves towards you is to start telling you and opening up about the past, about this disruption and why it comes up, or why they go into themselves, what triggers them. And this isn't and I think this is just an open and honest conversation, whether it's you going, hey, like, I understand we've all got a past, we've got things, but you know, I'm here to listen to you. Or whether it's them just saying, look, I know I'm not the easiest when I do this. It's because of this. Because I feel like there's memories that in the Six of Cups in reverse, it feels like there's memories that they love to get lost in from their past, but sometimes it feels like they're living there, or they're reminiscing, or sometimes maybe they don't even love being in those memories, but those memories harbor such a weight in their mind. It's like they haven't unpacked that fully, and it still sometimes permeates in their reality, and this causes this kind of chaos externally. So when they're not feeling in their own balance, and I feel like they've learned how to tap more into that, which is why almost when they come forward with this open heart and when they're in this flow state, it's so brilliant. But everyone can get burnt out. Everyone can lose that sense of balance if they give themselves too much of themselves, too much of their energy to tasks, obligations, or relationships potentially. And it's not that they're giving too much of their time to you, I'm not saying that, but you may be one of other things that they are giving too much of themselves in. And actually I think they do with you, with this make card here, and that their intentions here, and what they're hearing in terms of their instincts and their intuition. I think they really do value your presence. And actually, Spirit doesn't want you to let your pride get in your way in terms of this full moon in Leo. It's not necessarily about you, in the fact of why they're doing these things. It's actually it's a reflection of themselves and their internal world. And they are trying hard to peel away from, maybe they've even got lots of situations or things that take them away, and maybe that's the disruption. Maybe they've got a lot of obligations or duties. Maybe with that Fox card, maybe they're even like the provider for their household, or work to support other people, and they maybe take on a lot of burdens which maybe they've never shied away from, is what Spirit is saying. They've never shied away from that responsibility, but maybe they've never maybe been asked to do that. They've just done it. They've seen that they need to step up, or they felt like they needed to step up. And actually, I feel like they're drawing so much energy away from their center. That's when they feel like there's lots of things flying at them. There's a conflict, but it's not really a conflict in their external. It's more of a sham. And I feel like this is what they're going to almost start to tell you, is that they give so much of themselves to things, and maybe they've given themselves over to love before, and it's either made them burn out in terms of that, or it's thrown them off balance and they've not been able to be the person that they've wanted to be, or give as much time and attention. And that's not what they want to be. They want to be that man holding a heart. They want to be that centered attention on the other person. But it feels like through them almost telling you this, and all of the defeats that almost they feel that they've gone through with this Five of Swords, they are kind of freeing themselves from that old story in a way. And I feel like they know that they're putting it to bed, that it is an old story, but they've just got to keep practice. It's like anything, it's going back to it. And with this make card, I feel like they really want to make these changes, but I really feel like they already have. in a lot of ways, like I said, I get a really beautiful energy from this. They've taken this time to isolate themselves, to contemplate, to reflect. And I really, with this Eight of Swords, I think the mental entanglement, the thoughts that wrap up fears and anxieties, all those words of what they should be doing, the should directives, that they actually almost don't hold a weight over them anymore, that they're allowing those thoughts to be released back to where it is, and really getting closer to their center with that High Priestess card. Really knowing that they're not who they were in the past. They're not that old story. You are not the same person as you were. Say maybe for you guys, maybe you went through a breakup and you're back together, and maybe this is a reconciliation potentially. Or for some people, this could be a fresh relationship. Either way, you both are different people. It is going to be a union of two souls who have changed, because it feels like both of you have made the changes that you've need to, or at least identified what triggers or what boundaries you need to have up. And this person, I feel like, is releasing that, like releasing their guard on these things and saying, you know, I'm not who I was. I'm not going to allow my ego's plan of what I think I need to be doing to get in my way now. I'm going to be this, like, open-centered. And the way that I see this, because some people will be like, well, we're looking at the future, their next moves towards you. These are all in grey. And then this one is bright and vibrant. And the thing that lights up is this kind of connectivity, the roots of the tree, like the core of who they are. That is not changing, as in the core of their values, what they love, and all of those things. And almost their intuition, that their soul, that's something. And they are, this thing that they're doing is protecting themselves, is trying to protect their heart, but they're ready to kind of radiate that back out now, is really what I'm hearing. And I think they're scared in a lot of ways. I think they're scared of what happens if I fall into that old story, that those thoughts may be running into their mind. What happens if it's like the last time? But they know, their deep internal knowing is obviously guiding them to you for a reason. They feel like even it on the path to love, even if it feels dark and they're unsure in a lot of ways, they know that they have to make action towards it. And actually, I think the magic within their instincts are clicking and saying this is the right thing, is actually taking the actions in real life, in the real world, towards it. So that's where that kind of finding the center, the balance, they've already almost got that yin energy, as it were, like ready to go. It's almost like with this Judgment card, it does feel like this kind of almost breaking out of the box, this peace that comes with breaking out of the constraints of your past, freeing yourself from it, and realizing that this is a new path, that this is a new person. But also this is also Judgment is linked to Judgment Day and almost the spiritual calling. So maybe they even feel like, I don't know if soulmates are something that you guys resonate with. If you don't, no problem. We've also got Mother of Cups, so yeah, we've got the Daydreamer. We've got Daydreamer, but also water signs here, so Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. But it's all about following your heart with this. It's almost like the heart's calling, that there is this almost instant attraction and this instant knowing, almost like I feel like you didn't need a tarot reader. You didn't need me to tell you these things. It's almost like me saying them is confirmation for what you almost already know, that whatever happened in their past, or whatever they feel that they have to do, those walls that they almost build up around themselves are the things that they are unlearning. And it's almost like when the wall goes up, it's the defense mechanism which they're trying to break down, especially with people that they want to let in. And with this kind of balance, love is not always agreeing for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. I think they're finding that, is that your energy is one of support of their journey, of wanting to know them, of wanting to be around them and nurture them and support them, as the Mother of Cups does. And I feel like whether that's you or them, like, I think you're both very nurturing people. We had that fox at the beginning, very almost family orientated, but whether that be friends, family, chosen family, it doesn't matter. Just someone who sometimes puts other people's needs before their own, and that's where that attention comes in. But when you do that and you subscribe to all the different roles in your life, that can throw you off balance sometimes. And that's where I feel like this chaos or conflict that is in an imitation, I must say, with this Five of Wands, this kind of sham, it's almost not real. It's the internal being reflected in the external, how you're feeling inside of, oh, I'm not taking time for myself. Things come up which make you feel that you're not taking time for yourself. All those things, it's the story that it's your intuition, it's your instincts. If you allow them to be quietened, like, everything else becomes louder. The fears, the anxiety, the thoughts that just go round and round. But we've got bird imagery as well for the kind of which I love, and butterflies. And I really feel like this is like taking flight away from these things, like almost gaining those wings and flying towards something else. But I really feel like there's this openness moving forward, and almost battling those things together. And instead of this isolated contemplation and reflection, it feels like they are able to take what they've learned and almost tell you that it's not going to be pulling away. That if they do that, it's almost like they would have told you what it is and almost why. So you can say, okay, well, are you okay? And your instincts will feel like, as soon as they have this conversation, which I feel like they want to have, of, this is me, this is why I do this, I'm trying to find my center, I'm trying to find my balance. But there is this, in this Temperance card, it's kind of alchemizing your life, feeling like you're more in control. And I feel like they are gaining that. And like I said, with the colors, there's this vibrancy and there's this piece of this kind of rainbow and harmony. And I think that's the key here, is almost growing these new roots, is rewriting this, knowing that they are in control. And actually what they are sowing now, the seeds that they're sowing now, are the ones that are going to form the positive changes that they want to see. So it's all about that. And they just want to, I think they just want to make this difference. They want to make this happen because they know it's needed to happen. Maybe it's a cycle that they feel trapped in for a little while. So I think their next move towards you is to tell you about this disruption, or to tell you about these walls. And that may not be like a whole like dear diary from the past, going through every single thing that they've gone through. I don't think it's that. I just think it's letting you know, like, okay, so when I don't want to put anything on because it will be different for every person watching, but there'll just be this openness to, when I do this, it's because of this, but my intuition is telling me to stay, and I want to stay, and I know I don't know what the future is going to hold, even though there is this mystery to them as well, this kind of almost magic, this instinctual knowing. But I think it's when they trust themselves, when they trust that flow, when they listen to their instincts, they are powerful and majestic. It's all the stuff that gets in the way of this. And maybe you can even see that within them as well. And that's why almost I think you've stuck around, and why you've watched this video, because you want this future to happen almost. It's like no one has a crystal ball in terms of exactly what is going to happen when, because we've all got free will. We can look at the energies and see where it's going, but you know the energy of this person, and that when you are in this free flow state, it feels like you are bursting out of the conventions of what relationships have been in the past, and you feel this freedom, this flightlessness, and that it is almost your calling in a way, like an alarm bell wake up. And the thing is, I feel like both of you have already woken up to that call. And so actually, by having that awareness of it, it's almost like you're already walking down that path. Of course, things can get thrown, but I think it's like when it's just the two of you, or when there's no distractions, there is that free flow. And it's about finding that state outside of this and almost sustaining that instead of just maintaining it and trying to keep on top of everything. It's about sustaining that kind of flow, that balance, which I think comes from that honesty and the fact that both of you want to make it work. And I think are both very giving people, but need to almost draw more into your center, into both of your centers, and find that internal balance. Because if you don't fill yourselves up first, you can't extend that to other people. I feel like this is almost quite mirrored energy maybe for both of you. Maybe you feel like you can identify a lot with this person and vice versa. And it's almost like when it's that soul to soul, when you see that other person for who they are, it's quite disarming. But I think one thing that Spirit is saying is that there is this fear that, and this is the thing, it's fear. There is a fear that it won't work, that maybe from you and from them, because everyone has those fears that come up, those irrational thoughts, whether it's going brilliantly or not. And they may still, and I'm not saying that this is all going to disappear or you'll have this conversation tomorrow, there is still this fear that they will kind of like withdraw, and the mental situation, the situations around them may get too much. But the fact but if they think they can do it alone, and they can isolate themselves and work through this and almost battle the dragon by themselves, that's almost their downfall in a way, is that if they don't open up. So and that's what Spirit's really saying, the hinge of this connection is moving the ego, moving the fears almost to a side, and realizing that love is actually stronger than the fear of all of those things, and the connection that you both feel that you have, that is stronger. And it's about the present moment. It's not about what has been or will be. Actually, just that when you guys have that attention on one another, that present moment, that is what you guys need to focus on, and kind of talking to each other soul to soul right there and then, not worrying about the path that needs to tread. Because if you guys are both feeling light, if you guys are both focusing on your center, are listening to your intuition, that flame inside of you, your beacon, that light becomes even brighter, that it dispels more of the darkness in front of you on that road that you're traveling on. So that's the kind of the hinge of this, is if you both kind of move aside that I can do it on my own, or I can move through this, it's fine, I'll be okay in a couple of days once I've done this, as instead of actually just communicating it and almost asking for the help. Because I feel like both of you look after so many people, but maybe don't get the kind of the looking after that you both deserve. And we support and challenge each other to be better selves, challenge each other to move past these things, but also support, to be a teammate, to be like the biggest cheerleaders in that make card as well. So I just want to get some songs too for the next couple of months. So let's have a look-see here. Okay. So we've got Break My Heart, Dua Lipa. So again, this is this, don't don't come out, don't start now. Oh no, that's the other one. Wait, is that Dua Lipa? I think I've got that wrong. I can't remember. Okay, but the fact that I think Don't Stop Now. Oh, I'm trying to sing it. Okay, I'm gonna continue going and then I'll come back to it. We've got Secret Love Song Little Mix feat Jason Derulo. We've also got Linger, The Cranberries. We have got Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bonnie Tyler. And we've also got 13, Big Star. Okay, cool. I see Spirit. Okay, so I feel like this Break My Heart may have been from this kind of disruption to flow. And whether that's from a heartbreak, if maybe you guys, like I said earlier, maybe you guys had a breakup, but things is kind of starting to come back together. Spirit is saying that maybe other people around the situation have a lot of opinions about this person. Maybe that's the chaos outside, externally, for both people, is that, well, he's being hot and cold, or she's being hot and cold, or they are. Like, what are you doing? And with this Secret Love Song, it's almost like you guys maybe are even hiding your love a bit. And actually, in a way, Spirit is saying that, you know, you should be proud to be different and to stand apart, but also you guys are both changed, and actually it doesn't matter what other people think about this situation. So actually, you tell the people that are going to support you and who have got your back, but also it doesn't actually matter what other people around you think, as long as you both know that this is what you want and you guys have both changed and you're making those changes. That's the main thing that matters. And with this Linger, The Cranberries, I feel like there is this kind of lingering sensation here. There's a reason almost that I just heard like the dial tone before like you get a phone cut off. It's like almost there's a reason that it's still on that kind of frequency of that dial tone. Like there's that lingering sensation that it's not cut off, that it's not dead yet. There's something still here. And whether that's energy from a breakup or whether that's from, you know, you have this love for one another but you don't really let it show. It's kind of like that, like kind of hot and cold, like are we, aren't we energy. Like there's a reason that almost you've lingered, and they've lingered too in this sensation. And with Total Eclipse of the Heart, obviously turn around, and we had all of these things about like looking at the other person and stuff. So I feel like that is a cycle that that needs to be broken. And Spirit is saying, like, it feels like you're gonna keep living this reality. Like I kind of said, this feels like it may go on unless that is moved aside and you guys realize that you need to almost take it by the horns and be like, what are we actually doing? What are we thinking? And almost give it the shake, because there are these heartfelt things here. There's heart in two of these songs. There are feelings, but it's like everything else, the swords and the chaos of other things, are getting in the way and almost uprooting that. And with 13, Big Star. Okay, so firstly, great song. 13, number of fate, and but also death, rebirth in the tarot. So the death card is the 13th card, linked to Scorpio energy as well. But again, it's all about that change, and the most permanent thing in this life is the change of consciousness, is the change into death. Everything else, we are always going through cycles. Like, we will never have a finite ending until that point. And actually there's this releasing of the ego and welcoming in the change of which both of you have made in this 13. And with Big Star, it's like there's this big star, there's this big hope on the horizon. The big star is actually you and your flames and your intuition guiding you forward. It's not only just a great song where it's like, can I walk you home from school? All of those things. That's almost the different energy between Secret Love Song, of like, we'll hide it away, like, why aren't we talking, to can I do all of these things, like almost like, can I be your partner, can I be this person in public? And I feel like that's almost the things that you see is the potential of when you're alone, or how you guys are, of that man holding heart and that flow card in contrast to that disruption. So Spirit is saying it's almost time to call it out almost in one another, because I feel like almost their actions cause a reaction in you, and maybe even vice versa. But this is a cycle that you guys can break. And I think it's almost that's what Spirit is calling you guys to both make. And it's not a blame game at all. It doesn't have to be. Everyone's got fears. Everyone's got anxieties. Everybody listens to other people who may or may not have their best interest in their heart at that moment in time, or may think that they are saying the best thing, they're giving the best advice for that moment in time. But the only internal voice, and the only voice that you need to hear, is the voice of your internal voice and what your higher self is calling to you to say, and your intuition. And by balancing yourself out, you can access that even more, and you can quiet the humdrum around you, as it were. Because yeah, like I said, there's deep feelings here. There's a reason that it feels like it's lingered and the cycle hasn't closed. But for both of you, this death rebirth has to happen almost in this 13. Either the death of this cycle of this continuance and into something new, either with this person or without this person. That's what both of you deserve, is to break out of this cycle. And maybe it's both of you doing that together, with this kind of judgment and this high calling. But it's honestly up to you. If you don't want to be in this what if energy, if you want someone to just be like, this is what I want, you are absolutely deserving of that. You know, everyone is. But yes, my darling friends, you guys are awesome, and just listen to yourselves, listen to what your intuition's telling you. That's all I can say, because this person is trying to do that as well, and then allows all these things to get on top. But if you take that lead first and actually you look at what is right for you and what it is that you want, you can be on that front foot. So actually it doesn't matter almost what they say or they do, because energy doesn't lie. And that's the thing. Words, thoughts, situations, they can all lie to you. It's energy that doesn't. So if you're listening to your energy, your frequency, and how you are kind of feeling about this and where your instincts are telling you, that's the main thing, that integrity of self and your knowing of your self-worth. So my glorious friends of pile 3, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I've loved reading your cards. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I'm sending so much love. Bye. Hello my lovely friends of pile 4. So if you picked the Modern Witch Tarot and also the Amethyst Heart, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, let's look at your Oracle cards, which is just an energy check-in, so the energy you're receiving from this person. So firstly, we have Dragonfly. They're being represented by, so we have air sign placements here, so potentially they have those placements in their chart. That is Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Hello Libras, did not forget you, just tongue-tied, which is not what this person is. I feel like they have a very clear perceptive mind. We've also got attachment, we have got indecision, we've got passion, and we also have stop. So this person, I feel like, is almost like a master with their words and their mind. It's like their perception is very, very clear, and almost what they want to say is exactly what is said. We've also got the downward triangle here in blue. It's also, that is the symbol, the element of water. So potentially also water placements here, or maybe you are with Scorpio, Cancer or Pisces. Like I said, they don't have to have them in the chart. I literally only just noticed that now. So yeah, so we've got the water symbol as well as the air symbol just there. But I feel like this person is, it's again a dragonfly of two halves. I use this for pile 3, so if you felt drawn to pile 3, it may be similar messages, but I feel like there is a little bit of different energy here too. But it's like there's this side to them which is passionate, which is attached, where their attention is almost laser focused, and it's like joyful and magical to be in their presence. But also with this card, with this attachment, it's almost like stripping away the social mask is how I see it, and almost detaching from the ego self and that, and like the image that we give to everyone. I did a reading on your 3 faces, which is a Japanese proverb of the first face is the face that we show the world and is our most kind of cultivated, the one that we appease people with, and then our second is the one that we strip back that layer for friends and family and letting people in. And almost I feel like that's what they're doing, is almost stripping back that layer, and there's great passion there, I think, between you, that kind of flowing. But it's then like hot and cold to this indecision and this stop, this energy of, oh, actually, maybe we shouldn't do that, or we shouldn't do this. And it's like they are almost flitting between the different things. It's almost like their mind is preoccupied, that they can't concentrate on what it is that they were concentrating, what they were attached to. It's almost like going between like flower to flower, or like lily pad to lily pad. I think dragonflies fly around, and, you know, not being able to settle, basically. And it feels like the situation changes and shifts almost depending on their mind and the mental state that they're in. And it's like you can almost never get a read on like what dragonfly you're going to get today. And it's kind of like they create this almost illusion, this kind of like everything's fine, but it's almost like the energy of the situation, even if their words and their thoughts and their actions are saying one thing, it's like their energy is saying another. And it's like you can just tell they're either not focused, or they want to be doing something else, or even if they're saying the other, like they're saying stop, like you can tell almost that they don't want to. So it's like as in like, oh, I've got to leave, or I've got to do this, or I can't do this day. It's almost like, oh, but you do. There's just this, I'm even having like trouble formulating. It's this kind of discombobulating, like what is going on? What the heck? Like I can't, it's almost like Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde here, you know, like 2 completely different personalities almost in this one body. But this obviously is the energy of the situation. So maybe it just feels like it's gone from one and to the other. Maybe it's not constant flip to and throw, like a ping pong match between, but maybe it's just like, it happens occasionally as opposed to all the time, and you're just not sure what it is that they actually want, and with this indecision, like which way they want to turn. And obviously everyone has free will, and I feel like you know that, so you have the power to change whatever comes out of this reading by changes in the present moment, as with them. And I feel like you know that is too, that they have that decision that they need to make. They need to make their own choices and their own path. But it's almost like they've just stopped at this crossroads and they're not making that decision. it's like no action is a form of action, dragonfly. And it's like they haven't made up their mind yet, and maybe it feels like you're waiting on their whims, which isn't fair to you as well, because you should not feel like you are in this kind of illusion, in this mind game in any way. But I feel like the passion, and when they do strip back that layer, is what almost keeps you and makes you almost stay, because you know how passionate they are and how they make you feel and how they can strip back that layer. So I want to go in further. If you didn't feel like that was your energy, like the person's energy, and you were drawn to another pile, feel free to go back to the intro and pick another pile. But if you didn't feel like there are any messages for you today, that's absolutely fine. I know it happens to me. It's upsetting, especially when you like the topic or you want to know, but sometimes that does happen. So let's have a look-see for pile 4 for what their next moves towards you, based off of this current energy, maybe. So Spirit for pile 4. Okay, so we have got the Ace of Wands and we have got the Two of Wands as well. We have got the Star. We have got Justice. We have got Three of Swords, which fell on the floor. And we've also got Temperance. And then on the back of the deck, we've also got the King of Swords. So again, we've got that confirmation again of Libra, Gemini or Aquarius, in that of the air signs. Oh, we've also got Ten of Swords there. Cool. Well, not cool, but yeah, it's there. In terms of oracle cards, we have got Boundaries, we have got Rescue, we have Confidence is key to success. We have got Donut, be able to discern moment-to-moment gratification from true fulfillment, indulgence, treat, and craving. And we have Emotions are natural and a necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision in order to see things clearly. You must let go of resentment. Okay, so pile 4. This person, and I feel their next actions towards you, I feel like, and this sounds, I'm going to be absolutely honest, total truth here, they've almost got you exactly where it suits them, where they almost want you in a way. With this King of Swords, it's like they can see clearly what they're doing. They've got this, I think they've become quite hardened to their emotions in some way. It's like their mind is key and they have this kind of freedom of thought, and actually they are not clouded by their emotions. And they've actually got this very clear perception, and that's almost like that dragonfly. It's almost like that illusion. They know what they're building in some way. And with this Ten of Swords, also with this Three of Swords, I feel like their words or their thoughts or their actions towards you, they may bring up a lot of fear and anxiety in you, or it may feel like it reminds you of past hurts or past loves and past situations where you maybe felt hopeless, if that is something, or like just pain and grief. And the Three of Swords is the card of heartbreak and this kind of, again, disruption, but betrayal in some ways. But also Ten of Swords is this rock bottom, this feeling that we almost can't go on in this cycle of this thought energy. And I feel like they are almost indulging with this donut. It's almost like when it's, I hate this. I hate this energy. I feel like this, but I'm saying it for you guys for real, because I feel like you need to hear it. There's a reason you clicked on, and I'm sorry it's not the message that probably you want to hear, but it's the message that Spirit wants you to hear. But it's almost like when they get that craving, when they want attention, when they want someone to almost boost their ego in a way, or when, that's when that's their moment gratification instead of actually fulfillment. And maybe you even feel that as well, that you are not actually being fulfilled by this person, that actually there is not that kind of in the stake ground, like, I feel fulfilled here. And it feels like they are almost setting their boundaries and almost setting the tone for this relationship in some way, that like, this is as far as it goes, in terms of this is as almost with that attachment, how it was, like how the mask was there. It's almost like there's still things chained in the background, but this is almost as far as the mask is coming off for you to see. But I can put on the mask at any time, is what I'm hearing with that attachment. But it feels like they almost plunge you into this feeling of like needing to be rescued from this. Like maybe it's a cycle that you've been in before, where people haven't treated you in the way that you deserve, or and maybe they displayed kind of, because with this Ace of Wands there's this kind of like passion, there's this kind of just do it energy, there's kind of intuitive like pull to create and to do things, and Two of Wands is that energy amplified into let's visualize what we want to do and where we want to go, and let's create our to-do list of things that we want to see and be and do. But then it just feels like there's no follow through, as it were, and it's almost like the building up and almost playing into your dreams a bit with this Star. And I feel like you are being vulnerable, you are being open, and you are being kind of there in that moment, kind of pouring your faith and serenity into things, and keeping what it is that you want right center and focus, and being your honest and truest self, despite all the things that have happened to you in your past, might I say, as well, like the emotional things that you have gone through. You've still got this tenacity and this strength and this confidence to know what you're worthy of. And I feel like what Spirit's saying by this card is that you can have resentment for this person. You can be annoyed by this person that they are not seeing the potential here of what could be, or are treating you in this way. But that resentment, eventually, you need to release and let go of, because that, again, distorts your perception of what is happening in front of you and the new opportunities and the new energy coming forward. And with this Justice card, I feel like karmically, everything that they are doing to you, or everything that they, and I do feel like maybe they do have good intentions with this passion here and their intuition. Maybe that's a cycle they want to get out of, but there is this kind of still attachment to their thoughts and this kind of story that they've written, and this kind of this authority that they've almost got in this King of Swords. But I feel like they've almost not put the sword of truth onto themselves in a way, if you know what I mean. That they haven't like with this Justice card, like they've got this imbalance in their life in some way of how they can flip between to and fro, and the scales keep on tipping. And maybe there's things in their history which they're not coming to terms with and allowing to release. And maybe they've become, like I said, hardened to their emotions. So they're allowing their mind and their thoughts to take to root instead of their passions and their emotions. It's not that they're a real cold or manipulative person, or maybe for some people maybe they do have those tendencies and you feel that. But with this Justice card, I feel like the imbalance is within themselves. And with that Temperance card there, it is all from them. It is not a reflection of you in terms of their energy. And maybe there are these things that they are hoping to do. Maybe they want to rewrite those stories in some way with that star. Maybe they have hopes and feelings of moving away from that energy. But at the moment, I feel like they are almost distorting that in terms of the three of Swords. And it's just almost, the Three of Swords is horrible energy of that heartbreak, that feeling like things are just being ripped apart from you. But these are the seeds that they're sowing, or almost the energy that they're directing. And that pattern that they keep feeding is going to keep it's going to keep going back on them in a way, and they really need to draw stuff into their center. But I feel like I don't want to really talk about them anymore. I'm getting that. Spirit's I think we don't need to dwell on the person. But obviously I know that you've asked about them and what their next moves are towards you. But I feel like their next moves are almost this continuing to play this game of almost, and this is not, I think you are a very strong person, and I feel like you can almost call it for how it is. And maybe your emotions, and I feel like it's because you're passionate. I feel like it's because you're a passionate person and you are an instinctual person and someone who goes for it and can see the potential in things, that unseen, untapped potential. And maybe you had your boundaries up, but you let them slip a little. Or maybe your emotions, they are necessary part of your life. Maybe because they were feeding the words and the thoughts that you were hoping to hear, it kind of allowed you to open up even more and be more vulnerable. And then when they almost flipped the switch on you, it was like, okay, what? Hello? Excuse me? Who's there? Dragonfly who? And I do feel like that is don't feel like it's because of you. And words and thoughts can lie, but energy doesn't. Your energy doesn't. And I feel like you bring that out of people, that passion, that go for it. And so maybe that was genuine, but their walls have obviously gone up for a moment, and now they're repeating this cycle, and it feels like you're almost trying to get back to that kind of energy, but that energy is already inside of you and you don't need it from another person. And that's what Spirit is saying. This King of Swords, I feel like, is this kind of almost we've got the Fool. Do you know what? I was actually thinking, I bet that's there. Peel back the cards. This King of Swords is absolute small fry. And okay, I get for some people maybe that it's been going on for a while and that your emotions can absolutely be there. And my darling, I you guys are amazing, and your capacity for love is so large. And Spirit is saying that everyone comes into your life for a reason, to learn these lessons, but your confidence and your self-worth is the thing that you should learn first and foremostly, no matter how long this person has been in your life. about yourself and the difference between moment to moment gratification and true fulfillment. You've seen how this person almost uses that moment to moment as opposed to true fulfillment. And actually, you know what you're worthy of. And actually, that energy, that stirring up inside, that passion that almost you initially felt, or sometimes you do feel with that person, I feel like it almost comes from you. It's almost reflected back at you from spirit to almost just do it, to visualize where you want to go. And the fact that maybe you have been open and vulnerable is almost your way of saying to yourself, oh, that's what I want. And with the Fool there, I feel like spirit is saying there's almost a new phase, a new journey, a new beginning. And for you to kind of trust and have faith and take that leap, because you don't need anyone to rescue you. And the fact that almost you feel like you've been imprisoned in that, and not for everyone, maybe you don't, and maybe this is really fresh and you're like, great, confirmation, don't want to go there. Or maybe if you have been there, you are not a damsel in distress. It doesn't matter about the gender. You're not a page person in distress. You can absolutely break free of that tower and jump and leap into this new beginning, this new phase of your journey. And that's what it is. It's not an ending, as it were, but it's that you're closing a chapter, a chapter on your journey. And it's like your instincts are already barking at you almost, of there's all these potentially even new passions or new things kind of bursting here. And why get caught up in their almost like law and order system, like the way that they're running things? They're not the star of the show. You are in control. And I feel like almost this is your, potentially even your boundaries going up, and your almost third eye feeling like it's a light. And maybe I'm getting strong fire signs from yourself, so maybe you're Leo, Sagittarius or Aries, or have those placements. If you don't, no problem at all. But I feel like spirit is calling you to this new beginning of the Fool. And I mean, the Fool can be seen by others as the wild card, as the other, but that is more a reflection on other people than it is you. So the things that you feel that you're called to, the things that you want in a partner, or just a mate or whatever, those are absolutely valid, and it's come from you. And like I said, it's a reflection on the other person. And actually you can, the thing you can be a fool for is love. And I feel like you know almost what is meant for you, or with that star card, the hopes and dreams, the wishes that you have, things that you want to pour your hope into, and be vulnerable for. And this is almost your opportunity to kind of leap forward with all of these lessons, not allowing this person or past experiences to rule you on your journey forward, but instead to throw yourself into a new phase and take all of those experiences with you, with what you've learned. You're not afraid to move forward, and actually just focusing it on your center, instead of focusing on other people, focusing on yourself first and foremost, and trusting like, okay, cool, I'm really in charge of my emotions and things like that. But maybe the one thing that this person has taught... Hiya guys, sorry, my video cut out. But what I was saying is that one thing maybe that you've learned from this person is that, you know, your emotions are your strength, your intuition, and what it is that you want to go for. And that kind of, that sense of self, that sense of self-worth, you can see feelingly forward. You don't need to feel distorted by that. You can be fair-minded, have that like strong mind, that strong sense of self, those strong boundaries, paired with that emotional side that reaches forward and looks for those emotional opportunities. And it's like your beginning with this Fool like is coming. So because the video cut off, I literally just put your songs on the table, so I haven't actually opened these yet, but I flicked them on and then I saw my camera had gone. So anyway, let's go and have a look at your channeled songs for your next 3 months in love. So it's not necessarily to do with this relationship, is what I'm feeling. So we have firstly got Sex on Fire, Kings of Leon. Okay. We've also got Love Fool. Okay, I love this. Okay, the fact that we have got the Fool and then Love, and I just think it's almost like you're not being a fool for love. It's like you and the cardigan. I love this. It's like your protective layer, your cardigan. You actually are, you're kind of moving forward with this new sense of possibility, this like instinctual, I can take this leap of faith. It's not even a leap of faith. Like, I trust myself to make those right judgments, and I can go open-heartedly forward. We've also got Invisible Touch, Genesis. So with this Sex on Fire and this Invisible Touch, I feel like you guys are the absolute shit. Like, you guys, I feel like, have this magic, have this kind of strong passion, and people are drawn to you. There's this desire, and almost like with this invisible touch, like I feel like coming up for you, there's this like great feeling of almost like ruling the book, like ruling the roost, and like realizing that you're in charge of what happens in your love life. It's not dictated by someone else or someone else's feelings. Like, you've got to feel it too, and actually it's a two-way street. Like, love is a two-way street. We've also got, okay, No Scrubs, TLC, and obviously TLC, Tender Love and Care. We've got that in the kind of Temperance card about kind of everything maybe you're drawing externally into your internal. But with No Scrubs, it's that thing again of like, you're setting those boundaries, like no scrubs allowed, no, like, you know exactly who it is, like, no, you're knowing your self-worth and what energy is for you and what isn't for you, and kind of batting that away if it doesn't serve. We've got This Ain't a Love Song, Scouting for Girls. So maybe, oh gosh, I just heard something. This may not be for everyone, but the Scouting for Girls, maybe this person who might be quite like, it doesn't have to be gender specific, that's fine. Maybe this person that was kind of scouting out or kind of ruling their circle or whatever that, maybe it's like, well, buddy, oh pal, we're not in this love song, this isn't it. Or maybe that's almost more of a reflection on like their karmic cycles, potentially, like in this cycle until they break it, which it's not your job to do that, to make those changes. That's their job to do that. Like, it's a cycle that may keep repeating itself, and they're not going to find that true fulfillment, that true gratification, if they're just indulging and almost treating themselves in that way. And we've also got Call Me Maybe, Carly Rae Jepsen. So obviously in the song it's like, you can call me maybe, like, as in, I feel like it's you that's in control of this, and it's almost your confidence is your key to success, like the card says, New Moon in Leo. This is your new start, your new phase, and your confidence moving forward, and that feeling of self-worth, and knowing the difference between like how they were almost playing the game and the difference to how you are actually just realizing your self-worth, and those opportunities come towards you, and it's you filtering like what energy is right for you in that moment. It's not playing with people, not toying with people. It's actually like, I'm going to see how it sits with me emotionally, and then I'm going to act, and see where that takes me and visualize where I want to go. So my glorious friends are pile 2. I'm so sorry it cut off, but I'm glad I didn't put the songs back and rearrange them, because actually I love these songs. I feel like they absolutely speak true to you guys. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really hope it resonated with you. I'm sending so much love. I've got your back, the universe has your back, and you guys are absolutely amazing. Sending so much love. Hopefully I'll see you guys again soon. Until next time, bye.